Okay, I'm recording. All right, guys, welcome to our team call. It is May 16th, and it's our Fit Family Network weekly team meeting where we all get together and we get to see each other's faces and we get to just chat, see how everyone is doing, share stuff that's working in our business and helping in our in our journey to help others with their health and fitness goals, as well as just helping ourselves to stay on track with our own health and fitness and our business. So it's always great to, have this meeting. I know it's such a great way for me to kick off a new week and everything. So between this and the National Wake Up Call, it gives you pretty much any tool that you could need to really give yourself a good start to the week. So I don't have any slides or anything today because I just wanted to share about, I was on a call, well, I wasn't on a call, but it was a leadership type call with Jeff Hill and Melanie Mitro. And Melanie Mitro is the top coach in Beachbody. She's been the top coach for the past 2 years. And so she definitely has some great insight in the business. And I thought that these three things that, they were just talking about, like, sometimes you can, even when you appear successful in the business, sometimes you can still kind of fall off track and lose motivation and, lose that passion and drive to, like, keep moving forward. So she was just kind of talking about how it happens to everybody and it's normal and stuff like that. But then there were like three things that really stood out to me that are like three things that even if you are having a bad month or a bad day or whatever, these are like three things that you should definitely avoid no matter what. And myself, like being a coach for now almost 5 years, like I can specifically think of people that fall into these categories, and I know that it was like a huge detriment to their business when they allowed this to happen. So the first thing is like taking the blame when some of your coaches quit. So we all will get coaches, either you've had them already or you'll have them in the future. And they're coaches where you're like, oh my gosh, I am so excited that this girl is signing up. She's going to be my next diamond. She is such a rock star. And I already know it. I'm like already writing out her diamond recognition post because she is going to be a rock star. I'm so excited and blah, blah, blah. And like, you just see this person's potential. And sometimes they even get started and they get, they're like a success starter and they get Success Club. And, it's like, it just brings like that awesome energy and you just see what they're capable of doing. And you're like, finally, somebody that has the same enthusiasm for this business as I do. And so, you have your weekly calls and everything is going great. And then something happens where they go off to like the islands, never to be seen or heard from again. Now, this has happened to me with people that are a diamond coach. And like some of you guys are diamond and some of you are star diamonds, or some of you guys are not, are emeralds or below. So like in my mind, I'm like, if you got to diamond, like how can you just go away? Like you built a team. And I know for me personally, like when that has happened, I've taken that and like put the burden of it on my own shoulders. Like, what did I do? What did I say? Or what didn't I say? Should I have called? It's like when you're, I don't personally know because I was not in the dating world much, but it's kind of like what I've heard of other people when you're like with a new guy and you're so excited and the relationship seems to be going in the right direction and then they don't call or text and you're like, what happened? We were like destined to be, and then it crickets. So it's easy to feel like that was your fault. And you're like, I must have done something wrong. I must not be a good coach. I must not be a good leader. And that can even happen with your challengers too. Like when you have somebody that's like killing it with their 21-day fix, they're drinking their Shakeology every day, they're teaching you about the containers and like they're just having great results and then they just stop. And then you're like, I'm the worst coach ever. this person was doing great, and then because of me, they decided to start eating fast food again, and they let life get in the way. If I would have checked in more, or if I would have sent them like a cool water bottle with a logo on it, they would have stayed. But the reality is that it's their decisions. Like, they're the ones that can let life get in the way, whether it's their fitness journey or their business journey, and it's not you. Like, but it's just so easy to put the blame on yourself. But the reality is the tools are there. Like, even if they had no Fit Family Network, even if they didn't have Team Dynasty or whatever, Fit Diva Empire, even if they didn't have any of those resources, everything is still there for them. They still have a back office. They still have stuff on YouTube. They still have the policy and procedures. Like, all of that stuff is still provided to them. So it's not us that is pushing anyone away or that failed them or anything like that. So, like, you have to not put that blame and that weight on yourself that you hold the power to somebody's destiny like that, because it really isn't. You're definitely there to provide accountability and to provide like a partnership, but that's kind of where it ends. You know, it's up to them. You have to meet them halfway. So you can't be the one that's putting in 80% and then dragging them along. You know, there's got to be that equal energy. So definitely I've seen people where it just, you know, they thought they signed their rock star and they fizzled out. And then it totally like that happened, and it totally deflated that person's own momentum, because it's like they saw themselves being a star diamond and all this stuff, and then just because the person you thought was going to be a diamond doesn't, you stop running your race too, because you're like, well, I suck as a coach. But it doesn't really have anything to do with that. You still have to keep your own momentum, and you still have to keep going and inviting and recruiting and all of those things. So don't let other people's decisions to stay on hinder your own growth with the business. Okay, the second thing is like having a pity party. So I know a lot of us are reading Girl Code, or maybe I've just finished it, and one of Kara's quotes in the book is, they don't serve champagne at pity parties. So, like, a lot of us are goal-oriented people, and we set goals for the year, we set goals for the week, for the month, we set Success Club goals, we set rank goals, we set income goals, we set leadership ladder goals, or, you know, recruiting goals, or whatever it is. And then if you don't hit that goal, sometimes you can get down on yourself, and, you know, you can be like, woe is me, another day of like, I suck as a coach, I'm not meant to do this, this isn't for me, and those kind of things. But like, that's not being productive. So they don't serve champagne at pity parties, and who would want to be at a party where they don't serve champagne? So Jeff Hill actually brought up Dan Marino, who used to be the coach of the Miami Dolphins. And he said that he had a rule that he would give to his team, that there was a 24-hour rule. So if they went out, they played a good game, and they won, they have 24 hours to celebrate that success and to like be patting themselves on the back. Or if they lost, then they have 24 hours to be miserable and to pout. And then after that, it's back to, you know, back to business as usual. You have to just get over it, move on, and pick yourself up, and don't let that hinder your forward progress. So I can think of several people, and I've done it too. I mean, I think we're all guilty in one form or another. But like, I know of people that have been like, you know, 2-star qualifying. And they're like, for those of you that don't know, in order, when you're going star diamond, you go through a qualification process for 6 weeks. So like, once you have somebody in your downline that advances to diamond, you go 1-star qualifying, and then you have to maintain your rank, and your diamond coach has to maintain their rank for 6 weeks before you'll go officially start diamond. So I know of some people that, they've gotten to like week 5, and I know it sucks. Trust me, I know it sucks. Like week 5, things fall apart, and then you don't officially make it to achieving your new rank. Once that happens, you have to like start qualifying all over again from week 1. So, but I know people that have let that totally take them off track with their business. Like they never built themselves back up after that. They had their pity party, and they didn't come back and say like, all right, that's okay. I'm going to start over. Let's do this. These are the mistakes I made last time. This is how I can do it better. They just went away. They went to the island. So don't let those pity parties, those moments of feeling defeated, or those moments of feeling like, deflated, take you off of your why and your goals and things that you know that you're capable of doing. And then the third one, like this one kills me when I hear people say this, like absolutely kills me. So have you ever heard a coach or a challenger say, I need to take a step back from the business or from my program. I need to just figure this out. I need to see if this is for me. I need to just take some time for myself. So when that happens, I have seen people come back from that. So I'm not saying that people that say that are a lost cause, but when that happens and they're saying, I just need to take a step back and evaluate things. If you're taking a step back, then you've already made your decision, because if you're taking a step back, then you're not going to be doing your daily behaviors that grow your business. You're not going to be posting. You're not going to be inviting. You're not going to be having a coach opportunity or whatever. So, it kills me when people do that, because it's like, you still should be doing your fitness journey. So you can still be sharing about it. Like maybe you don't need to be like doing pedal to the metal, or maybe you don't need to be going the same speed that you were going before you needed to take a step back to find yourself. But basically, like if you decide to do that and you take some time away from the business, and then when people do come back, you're not going to come back and pick up exactly where you left off. Like this is a business created by momentum and created by consistency. So if you take the 30 days of not planting any seeds, of not having any conversations, of not like posting and adding value and showing people that you're dependable, then you're like starting all over from square one when you decide that it's time to come back. And some people, that's okay with them. Like sometimes life truly does get in the way. Sometimes you do have circumstances that you do need to step back. So I'm not like downplaying those kind of things, but coming back from starting and like having to start over, that can be really disheartening to some people. And they're like, and like everything, like all the credibility that you built up and all of the seeds that you had planted that you like let wither away, you have to restart. And it's so much harder to restart than it is to just keep going, even if you're just going very slowly instead of just stopping and having to restart altogether. So those are 3 things that I think are like huge traps to, getting yourself off track with your business. And like I said, I know I'm guilty of them, in certain regards. And so those are just 3 things to look out for. So if you find yourself, carrying the weight of somebody else not becoming the potential you think they could have been, it's not your fault. And just remember that. And if you find yourself having a pity party for a long time, then either snap out of it, figure out, talk to your success partner, make a post about it, like do something to get it off your chest, and just know that stuff happens, it sucks, and it's okay to be upset, but you have to move on. Like you just have to learn from it, find the diamond lining, and, move on from there. And if you're going to be taking a step back, whether it's you that is taking a step back or somebody in your business or one of your challengers, use that as an opportunity to like ask some questions. You know, why are you taking a step back? Do you need to like totally remove yourself from your journey, or can we figure out a slower pace that's going to make it more comfortable for whatever's going on in your life right now? So does anybody have anything to add or anything to share, any experience, any of those things that you'd like to bring up?
Yeah, I mean, I can totally relate to everything you said. I was just smiling at, because like, and the old me a few years ago would have had a pity party and like been throwing things and been super negative about things like that. And I've had the coaches, so I believe in every single person that comes onto my team. I believe that every single one is my next diamond and my next rock star that's going to make six figures. Like, because I just have this belief in every single one of them. And when they tell me that they're too busy for this, or that they're falling, that they need to take some time, or they can't focus on it, it's really hard to hear. But like, since following Jen's mindset, she's just so good at like saying, okay, like, you know, on to the next thing. And my hashtag is Zen like Jen, because she's really taught me that, you know, you just kind of got to let it go, because it's so much better for me mentally and emotionally to just kind of, you know, help ask them questions and guide them and not give up on them, but also to move on and, you know, continue in your journey and just keep looking for those people. So thanks for all that, Jen.
You're welcome. Anyone else?
The important thing about when you have your pity party, because, you know, we've all had them, is just to make sure that I find that for myself is that I can't allow myself to be an ostrich and bury my head in the sand, because that's what I want to do. So I try to have something that I can be productive doing, even if it's like mindless, hey, let's kind of catch up with the finances today, you know, because no one really likes doing those anyway. You know, that kind of thing. Just find something that you can focus on, and although you kind of feel still down, it at least helps you get out of a mental funk, I find. And that, yeah, you're still kind of bummed about it, but you can at least move on. But it's okay to mourn something for, like, have your 2 minute, 5 minute, 10 minute, you know, however long, a day. You know, it's okay. And it's okay to feel that way, but you just got to make sure that, you know, to keep going. And I know from when I first started, I used to have a much harder time doing that. But I think, like Jenny was saying, Jen's just really good about, you know, like, okay, it's fine. It happens to the best of us, you know, that kind of thing. And I think I've grown as a person as far as not letting things be so personal, you know, kind of had that mantra, if it's not personal, it's business, and just bless and release, because that's all you can really do sometimes. I just had someone who was going to be my next diamond, and she decided that didn't even want to start. I put her in Coach Basics, and, you know, for someone who finally has a business builder and then she changes her mind, you know, like before, like if that happened in the very beginning of my business, I'd be crushed. And now it was just like, you know what? Okay, well, it's here when you want to come back, kind of thing.
Uh-huh.
You know, I think we all grow.
Of course, I will just add something. So as I was sitting here thinking, then the same thing Jenny said is, wow, how we could relate to everything that Jennifer was saying. I think it's important that we all know that there's support. Whether it's your success partner, whether it's your upline, whether it's your upline's upline, whether it's another coach on another team. I hope that we all feel that there's someone that we can turn to cry that day about whether it's business, whether it's personal, whether it's our fitness, whatever it is. I think that it's important that we all know that somebody is always here, and to know that they have your back. And sometimes you just need that other perspective to verbalize and bounce that off of and get rid of it. Because when you keep it in and you continue to be strong all the time, Jenny Beauregard, I'm getting better at that. It sets you back. It really does. So that's just one thing that I wanted to point out as we go through our ups and downs, knowing that I believe this team, everyone on this team has good intentions and a good heart, and are there truly for each other to help over those struggles. So I just wanted to point that out.
Awesome. Thank you. Who else? Rachel, I see you just took yourself off mute.
Oh, yeah, I thought I was on it, but I actually wasn't even on mute. But I wanted to say I totally agree with what Jenny said, too. I feel like as a leader, you just get so excited about anybody that joined your team, and you just want to be there for them and motivate them and fall in love, and you know they have all the potential in the world. And so sometimes, it's kind of hard when you think that they are going to be your next rock star, and then they kind of, give you all the excuses or what have you. So I totally understand that. But because that's what you do as a leader. You just want to help everybody on your team and show them all the possibilities. And I know when I started and I think the hardest is when you sign coaches on your team that you're friends with. Because you already have that rapport. And so you're trying to find the boundaries of like being a friend and then being a coach and being a leader and talking business versus talking personal. And I know in the beginning I had a few coaches that I used to work with and I was friends with, and we were in run clubs, and it was messy. And there are a couple of them that are no longer on our team, and they are also no longer my friends. And for that, my pity party probably lasted way longer than a day or a week or a month, or it was a long time. And because I sat and I just thought, what did I do? Could I have done something better? Why did this happen? And he canceled, didn't tell me he was canceling, stopped talking to me completely. I reached out several times, are you okay? Let's talk about it. Like, because then like friend Rachel came in, like it wasn't even like, okay, you don't want to do coaching, that's fine. But it was more like, what's going on? Like, I'm concerned. And so I took it super personal. And I think from that, I definitely learned not to do that in the future. But I do know that it can get really messy when you sign coaches that are your friends. But it was a lesson learned. And now I do have a more of a Zen like Jen mentality, and you can only do so much. And if someone wants your help, then that's awesome. You tell them you're there for them and move on.
Yeah, it definitely can get sticky sometimes when you're signing like people that are like people that are in your real life world that you knew pre Beachbody and stuff like that. And like one thing I'll do sometimes if I'm talking to somebody that we're friends and I want to specifically talk about things that are not Beachbody, I'll be like, I'll specify. And it seems weird at first, but like I'll just be like, hey, like I just want to talk about this like on a personal level. And then I'll just say whatever it is, like if I just need to vent about something or whatever. So it has helped me to be able to just kind of like specify, am I coming to you right now as your coach, as a leader, as a friend? And like Nicole Murray and I are like that a lot, where, like her and I were, very good friends before Beachbody, but we only knew each other through like a Police Wives group. And then when she became a coach and like all we would do is talk about business stuff only. And so then we weren't being like as close as friends. And then we kind of talked about that and like, gosh, I kind of missed having our like talking about friend stuff instead of Beachbody stuff. And so sometimes even like now when she comes to me with an issue or something, I'll say, well, I'm going to answer you as your friend and tell you blah, 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 blah. Or if it's something that I want to address that's more Beachbody related, I'll say, I'm going to answer this to you as, you know, as an upline and tell you that I think this, this, and this. So that really has helped me to kind of, so that way you're kind of setting that expectation and they know where you're coming from, you know, in one voice or the other, and to definitely make it intentional to keep that friendship going. So I know that's one thing I definitely failed in the beginning was like once they became a coach, then I'm like, yes, somebody that wants to run this with me and we're going to talk about it all the time. That's not fun either. So you have to like definitely be intentional about keeping the friendship part too. So, all right. If anyone has anything else, then we'll finish up. You good? Okay, cool. Well, thank you guys again for being on, and the posting guide is up, so make sure you guys are doing those and keeping on with the personal development challenge and checking in with that daily. So that's been so great. Like every time that I miss my personal development in the morning, like I'll usually see somebody has already started the thread in the group, and then it reminds me like, oh crap, I've still got to do that. So so I really have been loving seeing that for accountability purposes too, because I'm like, I better put my thing in. So anyways, guys, I think that the takeaway to this call should definitely be that these are like 3 warning signs, but also that you need to have somebody that you can kind of like get this stuff off your chest. Because just because they're warning signs doesn't mean that they're not going to happen. You just need to be able to communicate it and move on from it. So if you don't have a success partner or just, you know, somebody that you can go to talk to, whether it's your upline or whatever, just make sure that you make a connection and have somebody that you can just, because that's the best way. Like Sarah Manaresi said, you can't just bury your head and think that it's just going to go away, because it's just going to build up. And I'm a builder upper. Like I let things fester for a long time, and I'm getting better, but it's hard. And if you let it build up, then the weight of things becomes a lot heavier than if you would have just gotten it off your chest and moved on a year ago. So, all right, guys, thank you for joining me tonight. And thank you guys for speaking up and chatting about it as well. And I'll see you guys next week. Have a good night. Bye.
Thanks, Jen.
You're welcome.